Welcome to the Gump Report. I gotta tell you this because I had to delete a video that I was doing earlier because it's the same thing. What makes a good or great wrestler? I kind of went on a tangent talking about if you've never seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit, because as I was getting ready thinking about what I wanted to say for this video, I was looking at my shirt in the camera, and for some reason I thought, you know who would look really sexy right now if she was in front of me? Roger Rabbit's woman, Jessica. And then it made me remember that yesterday, it was yesterday, as I was walking home from physical therapy, because I go to physical therapy for my back and my hip. As I was walking, I saw this woman, a black woman, who literally had a shape like Roger Rabbit's wife. Jessica Rabbit, she was a black woman, long hair on her shoulders. She looked like she went to the gym because she was wearing spandex, or she was riding a bike, but she was wearing spandex, something really tight to her body. She had pretty decent big breasts, an extremely small waist, like this, like she was wearing a corset, guys. The woman's waist was so damn small, like she wore a corset. Now, if you don't know, women can make their waist incredibly small wearing a corset. They can have that hourglass shape, like zip, zip. They can, using a corset. Now, there's some women who've gone to extreme and literally have some of their ribs removed so they can really have a small waist that could be literally this size. Literally, this size. And she looked like she was like one of those women, but she looked natural, even though she got a big ass, pretty decently big tits, and an extremely small waist that looked like it was no bigger than this. A woman's waist is like this. I think she was like this. Literally. My hand can't even fit around half I'm like this. And she looked like she was like this. It was shockingly shocking. But now that I've done that, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Let's get to the meat of this. What makes a good or great wrestler? I think a great wrestler is the best way to say this. Because being a good wrestler, you can go in the ring, you can have a decent physique, and that generally is what many people believe is all that's needed. Because if you can go in the ring, many people believe that you can get over with your ring work. Now, mind you, if you're going to be honest here, on the indies, you can get away with that. Now, mind you, there are some who also add in a character, who have some level of charisma. But there's a lot of indie male and female wrestlers who bank on their ability in the ring. There's a lot of them who think their in-ring ability will get them far. But it doesn't work that way. Not all the way. I'm sorry, guys. Even counting on the type of promotions that are out there, like Impact Wrestling, AEW, MLW, NWA, Crash Wrestling, ROH, they're not doing very well from what I understand. And not Ring of Honor, House of Glory, House of Hardcore, Continental Wrestling. There's a lot of them out there. There are people who can get over by just the ring work and maybe a little bit of character. But when you get to the real big major promotions that are seen on television, remember, this is what many people don't understand, that scream, like in New Japan Pro Wrestling, like in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or in Mexico. That's all you need. Yes, they can have some level of character, but you need ring work. No, that's not all that works. Look, there are 5 tools a wrestler needs, no matter if they're male or female. You have to have, yes, ring work. You have to have a physique. Male or female, you gotta look good. You have to have important mic skills if you are on a company with a possible deal with a network. It is very important. Number 3, when you are, and I'm going to elaborate on this more. One of the things that many people remember from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, whether it's ECW, WCW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, it wasn't just all the work in the ring, no matter how much you want to say it. When you're watching them on television, it is what they project to you. So one of those things is mic skills. They got to relay their feelings to you. They got to say, I hate that other person. I love that other person. That was my friend. Or I'm going to take that title from you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They got to relay it. Now, some people had okay skills. Some people have good skills. Some people have great skills. And then the rare few who can say absolutely anything and it's gold that comes out of their mouth. Think about Kingston. Kingston, that is currently on AEW, is one of the best talkers. He has always been able to talk his way out of a damn paper bag. That shows you how good he is. There was one scene in Beat Elite that he made people emotional over a damn sandwich or a cookie. He was able to relay his emotion when he did his promo, when he spoke on the mic. That showed how good he was. Here's another one, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's always been known to be a great talker. Look what happened in WWE. When he could not wrestle, he became a commentator. That is due to the fact of his mic skills being that damn good. That also goes with charisma. Just like with Kingston, he is great on the mic because of his charisma. Same with Samoa Joe. The same thing. Great on the mic. Bray Wyatt, another person who's great on the mic, but also has great charisma. That makes people love you. That makes people want to be with you. Look at Moose. Now, Moose, mind you, Moose was never 100% great on the mic in the beginning. He was very bad. Now he's become very good due to the fact that he's taken on the hitman attitude like a low key. He's dressed in black. He's going to take you out. He makes it very clear, slow and methodical how he speaks and makes sure that not only every word is stated carefully, but to the point. That is what mic skills can get you. A great ability. Even John Cena, who many people hate and love. The guy had the ability to talk. He had charisma, yes, which helped a lot in his mic skills. But his mic skills were incredibly important. If you cannot relay what you want, you will never get anywhere. Now, charisma. Very important. I spoke about it briefly. Let's elaborate on that as well. Charisma is incredibly important. What you present, you project, just like with your words, you have to project something outwardly. A certain type of persona, an aura, a way of looking. You can either look like, or you can look like, whatever is needed to touch the fans in the arena or touch the fans at home. That a certain look of clothes, of facial, of muscles, of course that also goes with physique, and I'll cover that again. It is important that you can relay, project your charisma to people. How you hold yourself. You don't want to hold yourself like this when you talk. You want to have confidence. You want to have strength. Or if you're trying to be a persona of someone who's weak, then you want to hold this. You want to show fear. You want to show sadness or just confusion. You want to confuse you want to do whatever it takes to confuse or belittle the fans. Let me give you an example. This is something I've never told anyone. That only one person, if she still remembers, that's my ex-wife. When we were first dating, and we were going to a technical college together, I used to ride with her. At first I didn't, because I never really ridden the trains. I was a very closed-in person. I was a shut-in. But as we were dating, and as she said, you need to take me home to Mount Vernon back in the mid-90s, it was not safe. And she was doing it by herself. And that was on me. But I was a shut-in. I was very introverted. But eventually I did start traveling with her at night, which was the right thing to do. I wish I had done it sooner, but I'm not going to lie about it. I was just a shut-in. I didn't understand, and I was too scared. But as I was traveling with her, we used to joke around. At one point, I faked, and this is the truth, this is what we did, because there was people there looking at us, because my ex-wife was albino. She was very light-skinned with blonde hair and blue eyes, and she was mixed like I am. Black Colombian, Cherokee, and Sioux. Yes, that woman had a lot, just like me. And people always looked at us because of what she looked like. So one day we said, let's give them something. So I told her I was going to fake like I didn't remember anything because I forgot because I had a car accident. And we were in the train together, and I kept saying, where are we going? And I tried to act incredibly innocent, which wasn't too hard because I was a shut-in. I was an introvert, so it wasn't that hard for me to do it. But as we were talking, people started looking at me, and one woman almost looked like she wanted to start crying because I was so convincing that I was saying, I don't understand. Why are we going here? Saying we're going home. I said, why? What is this place? Said, don't worry. I'll help you to remember from the accident. I know you don't remember anything, but don't worry. It'll be all right. Said, I don't like not remembering. And I was saying these things, and people were getting emotional. This was at night, around 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and the train wasn't totally crowded, but you can hear the people saying, oh my gosh, the guy doesn't remember that there was an accident. He don't remember. And one woman said, oh my God, I want to cry. It was like that. To give a persona, a ability to make people see and project a character. That is important with your charisma, to project your character. And that's important when it goes with charisma, how you hold yourself. Now, we've now done mic skills, we've done charisma, physique. Very important that you relay what type of physique you want people to relay, or to see, not relay. There are some that don't ever do that. There's some that just go as they are. But there's others that believe that a certain type of physique is important. Bray Wyatt has never tried to get into super shape and be cutting like, He is who he is. He tried to make it very clear that Bray Wyatt is not normal. He's different. His physique indicates his persona. He is just freaky. Look at The Undertaker. The guy was huge, 6'8" to 6'8", and he looked terrifying. Yes, he made sure it was cut, but he made sure with his clothes, the way he wore his clothes, the way he wore his top, the way he walked out, the way he wore his hat and he took it off. And with his physique, and he going, I can't do the eyes roll up in the head. But you get my point. He made sure his body looked a certain way. He made sure his physique, his look, in being cut a certain way. Kofi Kingston, the way he looked. He made sure he wore a dress. He made sure he had a certain look that went with his style in the ring. And I will talk about style in the ring and ring general last. But you get my point. This is how things have to be. A certain way you want to look physically will go with your charisma and your mic skills. You have to be able to have confidence in your physique. If you don't feel comfortable with yourself, how are you going to relay your character through your charisma? How are you going to relay that with your mic skills if you don't have confidence in your physique? It doesn't make a difference if you're male or female. If the female feels uncomfortable because maybe she's like Sunita Deeps. When you saw her back in 2011 to 2009 to 2011, when she was in the Straight Edge Society, the girl had big titties. She had a certain look. She kept her hair long and then she shaved it off. But one of the things that was defining her next to her long hair, and she was in the Straight Edge Society, was her big tits. But after a certain amount of time, she went out of the business and had breast reduction. Now, Sunita Deeps is different. She's considered slender. She wants to be slender because that's what she wants to relate to the people. This is what she wanted to get herself in a good, comfortable position. That's what she wants people to see from her. Not her huge tits, but how she is. Then you look at Dana Brooke. Look at Mandy Rose. Look at any one of the women that's on WWE who have big ass titties. They don't mind having big tits. In some cases, some of them had breast implants to increase their breasts. Alexa Bliss was a small chested girl. And to give herself more confidence, she decided to get her titties bigger. Now, that gave a double effect. One, it gave her more confidence. And two, it made her physique look better on television. Because everyone, including their mother, noticed those titties were bigger. Look at Charlotte Flair. Now, we learned that she had breast implants before, but there was some damage, and she had to replace them. Now, when you look at Charlotte, let's be honest, her physique looks even more different, not just because of the makeup, because she looks more plastic. That means her titties have gotten a bit bigger. And I can tell you this, in one of the matches that she had a couple of weeks ago, one of her titties popped out of her top, and you saw the damn nipple. It happened. Hard to catch it. I did catch it, but I didn't catch the picture, I don't think. And even if I did, I can't show it on YouTube because I won't. I will get a copyright strike or a community guideline strike. But it did happen. I didn't catch it, but it did happen. I saw it. So, there are women there who have breast implants. There are guys who went and worked on their physiques. There are guys who took steroids. Look what happened over the over the decades. Look how many men, excuse me for the gas, I ate something heavy. You get my point. Physiques are highly important for not only your persona, for your mic skills, but also for your confidence. If you don't feel confident in yourself, you're not going to be able to relay that in your charisma, which goes with your character and your mic skills. Now, finally, the last two, your ring work, and if you can be a ring general. These are the two always thought of, but not understood, at least as far as I'm concerned. Going in the ring, that has been part of the indie side of wrestling for quite a while now. Becoming high flyers has been the most important thing. High impact has been the most important thing. Being hardcore has also been the most important thing, and that's what people have been looking for. That's what the indies have been giving us, compared to what the WWE, WCW, ECW, well, of course, understand when they were ending. This is at the end of the 90s into the 2000s where things changed. When ECW went out of business, when WCW went out of business, and WWE bought them both. They went from that style of having variation to one style of, that's it, how the WWE wanted. That's when the indies took over and took over what the ECW did and some of WCW did. They gave variation. They cared about more wrestling. They cared about more high flying and high impact, more hardcore. That is what the indies are known for. And that is what's been relayed and passed on to some of the minor and major promotions like AEW, Impact Wrestling. Look at the X Division in Impact Wrestling. TNT title. Now that's going to be for anyone who's generally a high flyer or a very strong, a high impact kind of guy. Or that's how it's going to be. Look at, well, you could say Ring of Honor has been doing that for more than a decade. Those are the things that are now set. And that's what we already know. But the one thing that so many people don't understand is that if you don't have the other three, like I said in the very beginning of this video, what does it matter having the match ability? You must have the other three to go with number 4. You have to have the ability to talk. You have to have the ability to understand how to relay your emotion, to present your character, because this is not amateur wrestling. This is pro wrestling. We do drama in a sense. That's what this is. It's almost like a soap opera, but we get to hurt one another. That's what it generally is. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. I don't like soap operas, but that's what wrestling is. It is a physical soap opera where you see a good guy go up against a bad guy, and sometimes you have people caught in between it. That's what wrestling has. And you need to understand what is required for a soap opera as much as you need to what's required to be a wrestler. The final thing, which makes you a great wrestler, because there are certain things that must give you a great wrestler, because we just talked about what's good. You want to know what makes a great wrestler? Out of all the things that are there? First, the most important thing, mic skills It's incredibly important to make a great wrestler. If that person can talk the leaves off the trees like Kingston or Samoa Joe, and it could be the most crappiest stuff, but they make it so good, you can truly say that's a great wrestler. And that is what Kingston and Samoa Joe are. And Mike's skills, they're the best in the business. Kingston and Joe truly know how to talk. And they are great wrestlers in that respect of talking. Charisma. You need to know how to show your charisma, how to really relay. Look at The Rock. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look at Edge. Look at, who else? Batista. Their personas, not just their physiques, but their personas are what made them who they were as either a monster or an opportunist or someone who just is Slick Rick. Like you could say with The Rock, he's been from a Slick Rick being able to do whatever the hell he wants to a babyface who will show you, I will bring it. And then a Stone Cold, Stone Cold was always a betweener. He was always someone that you could hate and love at the same time. And that you will always cheer for no matter what he was. When he turned evil, you cheered his ass sometimes. When he was good, you cheered and booed him at the same time. Not in the sense that, like John Cena, we're half and half. You knew when Stone Cold Steve Austin was a heel, but you still loved his heel work, even if you hated him. And then when he was a face, you knew. And then when he went between, you just adored him. The Rock never was a betweener. But when he was bad, he was damn good. When he was good, he was damn good. You could feel it. And that eye like that is some of the stuff that makes you a great wrestler. How you can say, Austin 316 says, I'm going to kick your ass. That is a type of persona. Type of things that make you a great wrestler. Having a great ability to talk on the mic makes you a great wrestler. Having the ability to have charisma that outshines mic skill or ring work or physique makes you a great wrestler. The final thing that makes you a great wrestler is not about being a great wrestler. Being able to put you in holds, being able to fly high, being able to basically tell a story in the ring is to be a ring general. This is the last one I'm going to talk about because this is the most important that many people cannot understand. They think just go in the ring and that's it. No. What makes a truly great wrestler is they could be a ring general. Now there's several parts to that. One of the major parts is that you got to be able to wrestle very well. Either have an extremely good style of high flying or high impact or grapple wrestling or maybe a little bit of all. You never know. It depends on your style. But the most important thing going with that is this is truly the most important part. Ric Flair is truly the greatest wrestler that ever lived. You know why? Not because I love Rick. The one that I love the most was Bob Backlund. He is the greatest wrestler. Not Hitman Bret Hart. Not the one who shall not be named. He was a damn good wrestler. Not Edge. Not Rock. Not Austin. It is Ric Flair. You know why? Because Ric Flair didn't just guide the match. He made sure that he not only took care of his partner in the ring, he made sure he elevated that person. This is what people don't get. A true wrestler that is great doesn't just get himself over in that match. He makes sure he takes care of his partner. If they're competent and good, they can elevate them and give them more. Look what happened in WrestleMania Backlash. You can say a lot about Roman Reigns, but he can elevate the person he's working with because he understands that he's gonna make sure that person gets what he needs. He's not gonna sell when he needs not to sell. He's gonna take hits when he needs to take hits. And he's gonna make sure the person that he's in the ring with gets more out of it than just himself. To make a true match a classic isn't just that both parties are great in the ring. It is that one of them has to make sure the other one is taken care of and is elevated not only with them or counting on the story they're trying to tell other than the ring, like the storyline, that they elevate them. If he's not or she is not the key of it, they must elevate the person that's with them, no matter if they like them or not, because it's their job to sell the story they're trying to tell that was outside the ring, that's from the storyline. Look at Sasha Banks and look at Bianca Belair. Yes, that story wasn't that great. It wasn't. But when you look at Bianca Belair in the ring with Sasha Banks, Sasha made sure she sold for a Bianca. Made sure that Bianca looked great coming out of that. That was important. Look at Roman Reigns. Look at Cesaro. Cesaro has always been an incredibly great wrestler. We know this, but he's never really been cared about by Vince. What did Roman Reigns do? He didn't just have a great wrestling match with him. He made sure he spotlighted him even though he lost the damn match. It is due to the fact that he made sure that he didn't just get everything he needed in his sequence of moves, but he made sure that not only himself looked good, he made sure that Cesaro looked good by giving his attitude like, no, this boy ain't getting shit. He made sure he gave him attitude with his persona, with his charisma. He made sure people understood that he is the king, that he is the head of the table. No one's getting over him. But as the story unfolded, and he made sure that not only he's still showing that he's the head of the table, but he had a real rival that he was having one hell of a bad time trying to beat. And he had to do whatever it took to win. That is truly the mark of a great wrestler. Sasha Banks is a ring general. She can guide a match and elevate the person. Bayley can do that. Becky, she's not bad, but she's not great at that either. When it comes to Charlotte, and I've said this for many videos, and more than a few years, Charlotte is not her father. Charlotte is heavily overrated because she is Charlotte Flair. She's a good wrestler. No one's taking that from her. But is she a great wrestler? No. It's not because she can't talk on the mic. It's not because she doesn't have charisma. It's not because she doesn't have physique. And it's not because she can't work in the ring. It's because she's not a ring general like a Triple H, like a Shawn Michaels, like a, you could say, Trish Stratus or Mickie James. They are ring generals. They know how to work. Lita knew how to lead a match and to a certain extent be a ring general, but when it comes to it, Trish Stratus was a damn good wrestler who knew how to lead the match and make it so that person that they're with, that she's with, was going to be elevated with her. Mickie James the same way. Look at Victoria. Tara. She was always terrified when she went into the ring or about to go to the ring, but when she was in that match, she knew how to lead the match and make the person better. Look at Angelina Love in Impact Wrestling. Yes, you can say a lot about Angelina Love, but when it came down to doing the match, she knew how to work it. She knew how to lead the match and may not be to a certain extent a ring general, but she did know to a certain extent how to elevate the person. This is what I'm saying. These are the tools that are needed. These are the tools that are needed to truly make a great wrestler. Male or female, makes no difference. A true wrestler must have these points. But this is just my point of view. And I got a call because my throat is dry from talking so long. This is the second video already. And I hope you enjoyed this Gump report. I hope you have a good day, good night, and yes, I hope you enjoy this.